Hello, 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 hello. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It is not Monday. It is Tuesday. Welcome back, Hustler. Hope you've enjoyed your Monday and also your weekend. Maybe your weekend has been quite chill. Maybe it has been quite eventful. Who knows? Either way, hopefully it's been good. Maybe you've just been practicing face sculpting. I've seen some good progress there. So I hope you, had a great time over the weekend. Today we have an interesting topic that will actually span more than just today, or it'll span 2 days of today's or this week. You worked, okay? Do you usually work over the weekend, or is that just is it an offset work week, or is it just like an unusual event, I guess? We will answer the question, does digital sculpting require a tablet? We didn't talk about it before, but I asked myself that question, for a while now. I've seen a few people say like, oh, well, I've been sculpting without it, like with my mouse, or, I've been sculpting with just my mouse for quite a while now. Welcome back, Zachary. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend. You're also on Twitch now, enjoying the less chat delay, I guess, and I guess Twitch exclusive stuff. I don't even know if there's anything exclusive to Twitch, in a different platform, I guess. You're not gonna get any recommended videos on Twitch that you would get on YouTube, but we will today have the first stream out of 2 to answer the question, does digital sculpting require a tablet? Basically, we will do today's stream the plan is to set a time limit. It's probably going to be 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long we're going to, work on the quick sketch today, how much time we have. And then we will basically set a time limit, and then we'll sculpt the same basically character today and tomorrow. So we're going to do the exact same characters, once with a mouse and then once with a tablet, to see what are the differences. I wanted to see if there are any big differences. I have some in mind, and I want to see if they actually come true. Stuff like speed, or how straining it is on your hands, for example. We'll see how true that is. I don't want to go in here with what do you say, like preconceived notions. I want to go in like fully, expecting nothing, open-minded basically, and see what's going to be the end result. If you only want to see, if you're watching this as a past broadcast or VOD, there should be timestamps in the description. Welcome back, T-Apocalypse. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Unlike Hustler, it seems. It's random. We usually work 3 to 5 days in shifts. Oh no. Well, that's annoying. Okay. So some weeks you have 3 work days, and then some you have 5. How like, when do you know when you have to do work, basically? Is it like, well, tomorrow you have to come, or even like, oh, today you have to come, or is it more planned? I mean, I would take like a random, I would take a random week, or a random schedule where you would have to either work 3 what is it 3 days or 5, or 3 to 5 days a week, rather than 5 days every week. But I've made that head after a few no smooth heads at Pen Beats Mouse. I've drawn with the mouse for a month while my table was in the shop. You can get more detail with the mouse, I guess. Yeah, but it's more straining. That's my idea. Especially because of all the clicking. Every stroke you do, you have to click, which can probably be more straining on your fingers. But I think the biggest change, or the biggest factor between the two, will be whether or not the sculpt actually looks worse, you could say. We could probably there's a difference between, of course, it looking worse, or there's different like ways it could look worse, whether or not it is worse because we didn't have as much time, so it just looks rougher than the other one, or it actually looks like worse in terms of maybe anatomy or, I don't know, technical stuff. I don't know. I don't think that will change that much, just because that is more of a mental thing, you know, how you move your strokes, how you move your where you place your eyes and all that stuff. I don't think there's going to be that much change there. But I think, yeah, if I would, you know, set up a theory, what would probably be the difference? It would probably be, you know, that it's going to be more straining and maybe a little bit slower. But that could also just be because I'm not really used to doing it that way, you know. I've also heard somebody using a not a trackpad, a trackball, like a mouse with a ball on the side. I've never seen that before, or I've only seen that once, and I wonder if that is actually true. I can't remember if they were digital painting or digital sculpting. Yeah. So today, yeah, we're going to answer the question, or we're going to begin answering the question, and we're going to begin with the mouse sculpt today. We're going to sculpt with the mouse today. I'm very used to my mouse, so there should not be some uncomfortable, you know, wiggling around. So yeah, we'll see how far we can go. I don't want to waste too much time in, you know, in this section. I want to go to the quick sketch and then immediately to the sketch, so we have enough time, or as much time as possible. Welcome back, Nathan. Hope you had a great day, maybe even weekend, and beginning of your week as well. Okay, so let's get to the, oh yeah, as I said before, you know, 10 minutes ago or so, we have two topics today. If you were seeing this as a VOD, there should be timestamps in the description and also in the timeline. Let's get to Blender. And also, as you can see, I've changed multiple things over the last few days. First of all, I have changed my preset, my startup file. My startup file now has this, what is it? Like, my startup file now has by default dynamic topology enabled because I've retopologized the sphere, which means now we don't get this weird message that, oh, well, there are some faces that can't get triangularized or whatever. Which means dynamic topology will now always stay on. And yeah, we only have to enable symmetry. I should probably do that as well. Hold on. Let me actually go back in here and just say this is a startup file real quick. Oh, there you go. Wait, did it do it? I don't know. Oh, you have to click twice, I guess. Perfect. You use a magic trackpad. Oh, so you mean which you would... I actually thought about that as well. You know, once you... Welcome, Yash Gala 16. Hope I pronounced that right. Hope you've enjoyed your day. Maybe you've learned something new today. Maybe not. Maybe you've just enjoyed your day. Hopefully it's been great. Yeah, exactly. I'm optimizing. So I've not only created a new startup file with a new, you know, with more default settings that I usually use. I also retopologized the sphere so I don't get this weird dynamic topology message anymore. I also created a matcap. Hustle gave me a few cool ones, which actually showed me how matcaps are being created. Basically just a, you know, sphere rendered out with a shader on it. That's all that matcaps are, like a 2D image that then just gets projected onto the image. And then I've created my own. This one's the new one. I've tried a previous version yesterday for the quick sketch. This one is a little bit more improved. It has more, it has a higher range between the the highlights and the, I guess, dark spots. And I think this one comes pretty close to the quick sketch or the speed sculpt that we've looked at before, that I said I like the shader of, or the matcap. Nice. I've pronounced it right. Nice. Yeah, a magic trackpad that you would have for like a MacBook. I've never tried that before. I use a MacBook for like in my at work because I do home office right now. We all have MacBooks, at least every designer. I'm working at a marketing agency, you could say. So yeah, we're using a MacBook. I have Blender on it, I think, but I've never tried sculpting with it. That's something that I actually like considered, like, or the idea of like trying every possible way of like basically sculpting anything in Blender, for example, just trying all of them out to see what benefits or what problems you would have, just as like a fun challenge, I guess. The problem is I would have to find a way to, you know, get an external, I guess, trackpad you could just plug into your PC, because I'm not going to switch to a laptop and stream that. Okay, or set anything up. So yeah. Okay, let's not waste any time. Today we have a, I don't know what you want to call that, like a wolf spirit. I found this on Pinterest. This was a second image, just to kind of see different angles for the skull. It's basically like a, I guess, like a wolf skull with eyes in it, and then like some fur in the back. That's going to be what we're going to sculpt today, at least for the quick sketch. And then we're going to go to today's challenge. So probably, yeah, this will probably take like 45 to 50 minutes. And then we're going to go to the challenge, or we're going to answer the question, do we need, or what are the difference between a mouse and a tablet? Okay, the timer's ready. Hopefully you are ready. I am ready. Does your company hire people from Fiverr? Hold on. A magic trackpad is not the trackpad on the MacBook. Wait, hold on. I need to check that real quick. No, we're not hiring from off of like Fiverr. We're usually, especially because we're like a, you know, German company, so we don't, I don't know if you can search for somebody from a certain country or that is speaking a different, like a certain language, but we usually, you know, just call a voice-over agency, for example, and ask for, I guess, people. We don't really use Fiverr or any of these websites. What is it? Magic trackpad? Magic trackpad. Ah. Oh, okay. That's what you mean. Hold on. This thing. I've seen it before, but I've never... It's been so long. Hold on. There you go. Look at this. Well, it's basically like a, you know, like a graphics tablet. It's just for, I guess, the MacBook or the Mac Apple products overall. There you go. Just a bigger, I guess you could say, trackpad instead of your laptop thingy. And then you can, of course, use your finger on it instead of a mouse. I mean, a pen. Okay. I mean, that should work as well. The only weird thing, it could just be like a thing you need to get used to. But the only weird thing I could imagine would be using your finger, because your finger is quite soft, so you don't really, I don't know. It could feel a little bit softer, but maybe I'm wrong, you know. Maybe it is actually pretty cool. I wonder if there's like a Windows version for like a trackpad as well. Okay. Without further ado, let's continue, or let's begin the sculpt. Let's not waste any time. I would say quick sketch number 198 in 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. Okay. As always, beginning with the head. I think what I want to go for is a closed mouth, just because, actually no, I think an open mouth is easy on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of sculpt an open mouth and then just create a hole in the middle like this. There you go, smiling dude. And then, yeah, create the head shape. So we have the upper one right there, and then we have the lower jaw right there. It seems like they start off pretty thin and then they get thicker as they go. That's usually how jaws, like what they look like. I don't have anything to say with this message. Okay, unbelievable. You know, this might be ban worthy. Trying to distract me while doing this quick sketch. Abusing the chat function. Might be, you know, we might have to consider banning for it. You're lucky you're one of the first, okay? Okay. I've never actually, so I, of course, why of course, I actually started sculpting with a graphics tablet, just because I've been doing, like, what is it, digital, or overall, like, 2D art before, digital, you know, painting and digital drawing before I actually went into 3D, and, yeah, I had a graphics tablet since then. I bought it, I think, like a little bit later on, once I kind of wanted to transition from like paper to digital. And since then I had a graphics tablet. So I never really experienced or never really tried actually drawing or painting with a mouse. So this will definitely be an interesting little video. You know, sometimes if I do small adjustments, maybe for like a model where I don't want to, you know, grab my tablet, I would just, you know, do it with a mouse. But that would be like super small, minuscule changes on like a model that don't really require precision, I guess you could say, or comfort, a certain comfort level. Welcome, David. David? Oh my god. You know, I get the one name right, but then I butcher the one that is actually pretty simple. David, welcome. Hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday. Hopefully also the entirety of your week so far. Okay, so we have the mouth, but nothing else. So let's focus on anything else. What about the nose? So we can see we have, from the front view, the nose hole in the middle. So, and also it seems like usually like dog or wolf mouths or noses stay quite thin in the beginning. And then also, of course, o criador sin importancia, rolling the R. I learned that in Spanish school. Hope you had a great day as well. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is a wolf, exactly. It is not necessarily a furry. I don't know if there's like a certain definition for it, but it's more of a, like a, I guess you could say, wolf spirit rather than like a I don't know if you would say a furry is a humanified animal. There you go. Are you from Spain, or is that just like a name you chose? I had Spanish in school for about 4 years, and all I can say is like, hi, my name is so and so, and and well, some colors I still know. I remember, you know, being horrible at Spanish throughout my entire 4 years of Spanish, except for one exam where I actually popped off and got a like 3 out of 6, grade 3 out of 6. Everything else was been like below average, I guess. And yeah, after that it went downhill very fast again. I got the campfires burned before the weekend. Oh, okay. Colombia. Oh, so you speak Spanish. Nice. Yeah, the only, you know, if I can say one thing, is that at least, you know, compared to other people that were in my Spanish class, at least I was able to roll the R. It seems like for some people that is super hard. I wonder why that is. So I don't know. It's always just, I guess, been easy for me. Maybe that's just, you know, something you just, I guess, can do. That sounds weird, but hold on. Oh no. Need to, oh my god. There you go. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I will read your name in just a second. I just need to pull up the website. There you go. Park. Wait, what? Paved Darken. Unbelievable. Trying to confuse me by switching your name, switching your first letters. Okay. while I was unemployed, I got a cheap graphics tablet and did drawings with tracing over photos while looking for a job. Oh, wait, so you cheated basically? You tried to make your your paintings look better because you just, I guess, traced them. I mean, you know, as long as you get the job done, I guess. You know, if they just require you to, you know, I don't know, create imagery that looks like a real image, you know, doesn't really matter how you get there, I guess. Except for when you use, I guess, like drawing filters. as long as you don't do that, it doesn't really matter how you get there, as long as you get there. Yep. Same like how French have troubles with age. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't think of an example right now, but I know what you mean. Okay, let me just quickly give him mean eyebrows. He looks too cute right now. You know, doesn't really say a whole lot for a for a skull, but he looks too friendly right now. He looks too excited. Let's give him eyebrows. They wouldn't really have eyebrows because it's just bone, but at least like a forehead, I guess you could say. Look at him, looking more mean now, just bringing down the eyebrows. How old are you? Okay, there's the question again. Let's do the same that I always done. Guess how old I am. We had a lot of different guesses. Some of them were pretty close, some of them were far off. It also depends on how, since when I've, I guess, since when I've been to the barber shop, you know, if my hair's longer, I seem to look younger. If my hair's, you know, shorter, I seem to look a little bit older. The lowest one I've gotten so far was 13. I think that was when my hair was like the longest. I haven't been to the barbershop for like months. And then afterwards I went, and then I apparently look way older. Exactly, more like a angry little fur ball. There you go. Something to boom here. I bag. Don't worry, really. The Spanish difficulty. There are about 20 ways to say me or you. Yeah. I know what you mean with all the different, like, whether or not you're, you say, what is it? Whether you're talking about a specific person, you're talking about you, you're talking about he, they, and all that stuff. They all have different pronunciations, or different, actually, words. Okay. 22, 27. Oh, no. Okay. Any more? I'm gonna give that guess, or give this question maybe 3 more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna focus on this, and then we're gonna answer the question. There you go. We have, how much time do we have left? 19 minutes, okay. He looks kind of scuffed. He doesn't look really angry. We can probably fix that later though. Right now I'm only more focused on the overall look. What I want to do here is I want to pull out some shards, I guess. His skull on the back is sort of broken off, or like cracked open, so he can like emerge from the back, like the fur coming from the back needs to come out of somewhere. So I'm kind of breaking out his, or like kind of opening his skull in the back. There you go. Okay. Okay, there you go. Perfect. So I think the upper part looks okay. We can probably work on the lower part some more. think that needs more work right now. We can probably also pull this back a little bit. So I've the problem that I had yesterday with this matte cap was that it didn't really have a good highlight. The problem was that I made it too matte to which in like that, so that it basically didn't really show the small details in a sculpt. You couldn't see the small ridge right there. It was all just like one color, so you couldn't really see smaller bumps, which made it hard to really distinguish between different shapes, and it just overall made it harder to basically sculpt. Now I just added, made the shader a little bit more glossy, and I think that works way better now. It's not 100% like the matte cap from the video. I think the biggest problem or the biggest difference with the two is that for his, he has some sort of like subsurface scattering on it, where if there are like small bumps on a surface, you get this reddish tint to it, which kind of adds like a skin look to it, which is hard to replicate, I've discovered. The problem is I want to keep it quite whitish, whitish orangey or whitish like skin colorish, but what I found is if I activate, or you need a certain amount of subsurface scattering to actually make it look, or to actually add the sort of reddish tint to it, and it's hard to add enough subsurface scattering, or just enough subsurface scattering that the color isn't getting too reddish, but also, adding enough that you actually get this red tint in there. I think I managed to get there somewhat. It's probably not perfect yet, so maybe I'll tweak it some more. I'm going to do some experiments with this matte cap and see if I can get closer to it, or if that's just the best I can get it to. And if I think I've kind of reached the best spot, I'll probably post it in the Discord, if anybody's interested in using it as well. Okay, so this is the neck. Let's answer the question, how old am I? We had a perfectly on target guess. We have two, so the one that is correct is Nathan. Nathan guessed right. I am 22, born in January, so I will be 23 next year. I'm born in 1999, which means I'm always 1 year older than the year itself, or the year 2000, you could say. That's how I remember how old I am. I don't know. Remembering birthdays or how old somebody is I don't know. I never really spent like a huge amount of time, remembering it, which is probably a bad thing. I should probably do more of it, but I don't even do it for myself. So yeah, sometimes I just forget how old I am. So I have to kind of do the math and see, oh, well, how old am I actually? And I am 22 as of this year. Okay, those will be the ears. They look quite weird right now. We need to make them thicker at the bottom and thinner at the top. But we have 14 minutes left, so we have quite a lot of time just to kind of work on this some more. Okay. Man, I don't know how, but honestly, you give me the feeling that you're going to be much bigger in the future with Blender, although good for a farmer. You must be very impressed by your way of using Blender. Are you saying you are a farmer, or are you saying like a ordinary person, you calling them I don't know what ordinary means, like a person that isn't really familiar with Blender or digital sculpting? I think once you've sort of reached probably maybe half a year of deliberate practice, or just working with something, maybe 3 to 6 months, I think in that region, you'll get to a certain point where people that aren't really used or aren't really, familiar or know a lot of what you do, will recognize your work as good, basically, or as better than what they could do. You know, most people can draw stick figures. Most people can't really draw faces. So once you kind of know how to draw faces, you're already better than the average person. There you go. Kind of want to meet, wanted to be older than me since you're more skilled at Blender. I mean, you know, we're still both pretty young, so it's not really a lot of time lost there. But I do get what you mean. Okay. Stick figures can be hard depending on what you want to do, you know. Oh, hold on. You know, the worst part about using the snake hook is that you always have to disable front faces only, otherwise it just doesn't work properly, which is annoying, but you know, I'll take it. There you go. Rather than not using it, I would rather just, you know, try to toggle on and off the front faces only setting. There you go. 4th month in Blender. I mean, you can sculpt a face, so you know, you're better than probably most people that use Blender. For a month is pretty good. I have at least I've made a small list of things that I want to do in the next few streams. Of course, next to, you know, doing the feedback streams. The next feedback stream will either be on, what is it, Thursday. Yeah, we'll probably be on Thursday, dependent on whether or not we will get one more submission. If not, then it's not gonna happen. We need at least 2. We have one right now from Zara. So if you want to get some feedback on your sculpts, post it now. And we're going to do one on Thursday. So this weekend I wasn't at home. I was far away because my parents basically married after 25 years of being together. They decided, well, why don't we marry now? So I haven't been here over the weekend. And my parents are still in, well, like where they married, where we basically went to. So what my not relatives, like my aunt and uncle decided to do or wanted to do was to kind of decorate their bed or do something with their bed. I'm not quite sure what they wanted to do. I guess they wanted decorated before they come back. They come back on Friday. So they wanted to, you know, just come over and do some decorations. We have 10 minutes left. Okay. Gonna have to watch out for the time now. And they can only come like later. So I don't know how early I can start the stream. I don't know when they want to come exactly. They just said like in the afternoon, which can mean a lot. Yeah, so I can't really say when we'll start. I hope we can just start, you know, in the regular time, somewhere around, I don't even know, like in my time, it's like 7:45 p.m. Wait, that is 6:45 p.m. UTC. You can, you know, use that for your time zone. Yeah, we'll most likely do a stream on Thursday. I don't want to do any more skips. I don't want to skip any more stream days. I actually want to do stuff. I have some ideas about what I want to do. And we, you know, they come over at some point, and hopefully it'll be pretty early so we can still do the regular stream. And the idea that I had, coming back to, you know, 4 months in, is I wanted to, basically, I've done it before, but more with a modeling, you know, like it was more like a modeling challenge, I guess you could say. What I want to do is I want to recreate or redo the first, or one of the first sculpts that I've done almost 2 years ago. It could have been 2 years already. So one of the sculpts that I've done almost 2 years ago, I want to recreate that and see, how it'll look like, now. Maybe it'll look worse. I doubt it, but, everything's possible. So I want to see, I just want to recreate it and see, I guess, the improvements, and just kind of, maybe you kind of recognize yours looking similar to mine, and maybe, by seeing the new version, you can kind of see what you could improve on, or maybe even just to see how far you can go, how far you can get in, I guess, 2 years. Probably even better than that. I've done a few breaks throughout my 2 years of using Blender. I think the longest one was like 3 months. This looks kind of weird. It doesn't really look like fur. We can probably improve it though. I want to just get some basic fur structure here, and then we can probably make the brush a little bit smaller, just to kind of make this enforce the structure a little bit more. It doesn't really look like, it looks more like waves right now. We definitely need more here. There you go. Thank you, Husser. Yeah, I mean, they always said like, oh well, marrying isn't really, they didn't really they didn't really hold marrying like in higher regards. But then at some point they said like, oh well, we want to marry, and then now it happened. Yeah, I'm not really somebody that holds marrying in high regards to. But it can still be like a cool thing, I guess you could say. Sounds kind of weird, but yeah. Okay, let me pull this forward. There you go. The one I posted today on Discord, I think, is one of my better ones, but it's not quite as different as the last feedback one, so not much to criticize. Trying to make one that has more improvements. Okay. Yeah, it's better for tax reasons, but it's kind of weird just marrying because of taxes, I think it has more of for most people, it has more of a symbolic reason to marry, You don't really marry because you want to, pay less taxes. It could be a reason, but I don't think that should be the main reason why you do it. Oh well, we've been together for 2 years, why don't we marry to pay less taxes? At least that's weird for me. Maybe it's pretty common, but I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. Maybe I am weird. Maybe I'm the odd one here. Okay. Let's give him some more defined cheekbones. I also want to give him some teeth now, just because he looks quite, you could say, quite soft. Let's give him teeth. I also want to just kind of bring in some harsh edges. That is something that can happen quite often when you just, do a lot of smoothing. You lose all your hard edges, but the hard edges are actually very, very important to enforce or create a certain structure in your sculpt. You can see just by using the crease brush and just doing this, you can see how much more definition you can give your sculpt, even just by doing it kind of like randomly or sort of freely. You can still distinguish multiple shapes from another just by adding a few creases here and there. Okay. Marriage was created during... What's your worst sketch? Hold on. My worst sketch. Oh, we could go through all the sketches, yeah. I don't know if there's like a worst sketch. I can't really remember one, but some of them you just feel look kind of bad. Some of them you feel look kind of okay. One I have in mind right now is the gorilla sketch that we've done, I think like a few days ago, or like last week. That looked kind of weird, like kind of raw or rough. Too rough, really, in my opinion. I think we could have worked on it some more. I think we just got lost in the woods or in the weeds. But you know, the quick sketches aren't really one, like you should, I don't try to treat every quick sketch as one. I try to treat it as like one project. You wouldn't say, well, oh no, this brushstroke looks horrible. You would, you know, you would say, well, this brushstroke is one of many to finish this, you know, this character, for example. And that's how I try to treat the quick sketches as well. They're not really meant to look crazy good. They're only really meant to, you know, maybe train for some, like, or, you know, to improve in a certain aspect, or also just to, you know, kind of warm up and I guess, either, you know, learn a new certain technique or just learn about a certain topic, like for example, animal anatomy. They're not really meant to be these projects that stand on their own. It's one big project basically. There you go. Maris was created during the Roman Empire, but just for the divorce, they wanted rights, have the stuff. Okay. I'm just gonna believe you. I'm gonna fact check that. It sounds interesting. Okay, let's finish these teeth now. I think, no, I'm actually gonna give him like real teeth or semi-real teeth. What I want to do here is I just want to do this little trick by adding a few masks here, kind of creating some teeth and then inverting it and then pulling them all out at once, which makes it easier. We don't have to do it with all of them. We just have to do it with one, or we can do all of them at once. We can see they get quite blocky, but by smoothing them, we can make them a little bit, at least, sharper, and then kind of tweaking them with the snakehook brush makes them look more like teeth. There you go. They look kind of weird still. They don't really look like teeth, but that's okay. Maybe by giving them this hook sort of hook silhouette could look a little bit better. As I said before, it's not supposed to look perfect. We can also just go in with the crease brush and kind of give him like smaller teeth right here in the middle, especially here in the front. Look at that. Okay, you know, that's better than nothing, I guess. 1 minute. Well, that has been quite quick. Wait. Let me go in here and use a smaller crease brush to kind of give him a more of a fur-like structure here. Just kind of going in randomly and just kind of giving him some stripes here, just to kind of make this fur look more like fur. There you go. Okay. Gotta give him eyes as well, but that'll be after the sculpt is done. There you go. Just kind of giving a random structure, just kind of make it look more like hair. It looks very, very smooth right now just by giving them this texture. It just looks a little bit more like hair. Hair isn't really like super, super smooth, except for maybe when it's super, super wet. So why would it be super, super smooth on this sculpt? There you go. Okay, perfect. Da-da-da. Look at him, how fluffy he is. Little fluff ball. Okay, we have a few. Oh, it's over. Okay, hold on. Let me just give him this bit here, this bit here. Perfect. He has some small broken off teeth at the bottom. There you go. Okay, perfect. Let's give him eyes. First of all, we're gonna save just because we haven't done that before. Okay. What do I need? Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. We're at, wait. Oh yeah, okay. 198. Perfect. Imperium Romanum, not the Roman Empire. Okay. I learned something new today. If that's true, I'm not going to fact check that. I'll believe you. Okay. Let's give them eyes. Eyes should be pretty simple. I thought about using real eyes, but I would have to change the shader a little bit. I would also have to plug in all the, what do you call them? The textures, which I don't want to do right now, so I'm not going to do it. There you go. 90 degrees. Perfect. Look at him looking angry. We could make the eyes bigger, but then he would probably look more... What do you call it? More cute than angry. Seems like the smaller the eyes, the more menacing they look. So I think this is a good size. Okay. Last thing is we want to cut off the bottom piece just to make it easier to, or to make it just look a little bit cleaner. Right here. There you go. Perfect. Chop that off. Perfect. Yeah, my worst sketch. I mean, I don't... Yeah, maybe the gorilla. Maybe an older one where I went into environmental, like, modeling. That could be one area where there were some bad ones, you could say. But overall, I think, you know, it's more about the journey. Okay. Perfect. Place him in there. He looks quite interesting from the side, actually. I like it. Okay. Rendered view. We probably need to pull it back just a little bit. I like the shadow in the eye. Perfect. Okay. Of course, we don't have the color difference between the skull and the back, but I think that's okay. There you go. Okay. Chupacabras. What is a chupacabra? Another Spanish term. Hold on. Or Colombian. Is that one of those? Oh, there it is. Chupacabra. Oh, I've never seen that before. Hold on. Wait. There you go. Look at it. Look at it. Looks like a hyena. Sort of. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Look at that. Look at him. Okay, they seem to be real. Skunk apes and chupacabras. Animals that don't exist. Well, apparently they don't exist. Well, okay. Okay. They look like naked dogs. Or a mix between dogs and hyenas. A little bit. Who like the blood of the goats. Okay. There are so many things I learned today. Unbelievable. Not only do I learn how old I am, or I think about it again. I also learn about culture and history. Okay, we need the lighting scene. The animal kills one of the two goats of my family in 1960, 1970. Well, the first title that I saw on Google was animals that don't exist, but people believe they do. I don't know if that's, you know, actually was a what was it? A chupacabra, but maybe, you know. Maybe that headline is just wrong. There you go. I want to make his eyes like pure black. The usual eye color, I guess, that I usually use for these quick sketches. Yeah, I think that looks better. It's not perfect, but I think it's okay. Let's use this and put this in a good spot. I think I want to give him a dark tone. So I'm going to place a light right there, but nothing on the other side. So it looks a little bit darker where his face actually is. Okay. Do I need more? I don't think so. Well, we could place one in the eye. Or, wait, let's try that. What about placing it somewhere in the front? We get this nice reflection in the eye, which I like. Where is it? There it is. I think that makes him look more, I guess, human. Not human, but realistic than it's supposed to be. So I'm going to leave it off. Okay, perfect. 50%. There you go. Do I need more? I need sampling. Do I need that? Yep, but later. Okay, let's do a quick render. Wait, I want to see if that's actually a good spot for the light. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Okay. So far I like the madcap. Let's actually, hold on, let me see what the difference is between the two. So we have this one, no, hold on, madcap. So the one that I've used before, or this is the one that I've that I'm used today. I like this one because it looks, looks a little bit like whitish clay, beige clay. I like the color. I also like the nice dark spots here, the nice highlights. So yeah, this is my new favorite one, the one that I've created. Then there's one that I've used before, this one. It looks, so if you compare the two, this one looks more glossy. The color is also a little bit different. You can also see that at the top there's no light. You can see with this one, or with my own, you can see if you look at the ball, there's a little bit of a shadow at the top, which means usually the background is quite, I guess, white, you could say, which means the lighting that you have on the sculpt is more from the front rather than from the top, which makes it, I think, a little bit easier to see the shapes. You can see it's quite bright here, but then it gets super bright in the back, which kind of makes it look like a singular color. You don't really see a lot of structure in the back here, but if we then go in here and use the other one, you can see the structure actually that is there. You can see how there are these small bumps right there. You can see that it's quite bright in the front. This is where you're basically probably focusing on. So this should be where the most contrast is. You can see some nice shadows down here. You can see how deep it is. And overall, I think it just looks better. Yeah. Okay, let's save this and do a quick render. There you go. I don't know, but they say that some European laboratories leave certain things in the jungle or in the forest to experiment or something like that. Okay. Like what are they called? These experiment monsters that have like these super crazy abilities. They can just, like, if you look at them, you go manic or whatever. Wait, we actually forgot one thing. We need to grab the material. There you go. There you are. Look at that. It looks way better now. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's do one more render. Okay. So, first thing first, post-production in Blender. My wolf looks like the skull of a cow with pig ears and leaf fur. Okay. Perfect. We need glare, nothing else. Perfect. We need less. How about 2 and then high? Perfect. Okay. Do we need more? We need a render of ×8, 256, and then 100% render resolution and render image. Perfect. Okay. While this is rendering, it is time to drink some water. Time to hydrate. Hopefully we'll be done in 7 minutes so that we have a perfect starting time at, for me, what is it, 9 o'clock. So we have 2 hours to work on this. I think that'll be a good time to, work on both sculpts. I usually, need like 1, maybe a little bit more hours to finish a okay looking character head without any shading and all that stuff. So I think that should be a good time to spend on this. Today will be the mouse sculpt. Tomorrow will be the tablet sculpt. Look at him. Isn't he cute? You can only see his huge eyeballs. Huge black eyeballs, but that's okay. I actually also thought about maybe... So one thing that I've discovered is all the bigger sculpts that we've done in recent days, you could say, have been male sculpts. One thing that I thought about was maybe creating a character where we talk about how to make a character, how to make your character look, or how to make your character look more sexy. Ooh, we haven't talked about that just yet. We've talked about it a little bit, maybe in maybe in a few different topics, like just in passing. But we've never talked about it before, and I think that could be a good, you could say, a good reason to sculpt a female character. I don't want to, it's not. I'm not saying that every female character needs to look sexy. It's not even defined what sexy is actually. It's subjective, but I don't know. I think that could be a good, like a female character could be a good subject for that, because I think for females there are more aspects that you could consider, sexy. And then also, well, I thought about, we talked about it last week, doing maybe like figurines of characters. So basically creating these, for animes, I think they exist quite often. These figurines that you can buy. I think Hustler also posted one in the Discord, where you have like these characters in different poses on like a stand, for example, kind of in a pose that you can put on your shelf, creating like these 3D, basically, what do you call them? Figurines of characters from, I don't know, games or whatever. And what I thought was, creating a character with a body and a face and all that stuff all the time can be quite, I guess, can take quite a long time. So what I thought about was maybe like a stream session where we create a base mesh, a character base mesh. Of course, we usually only have like 3 to 4 hours a day. Wait, no, what? A day? Yeah, a day to work on it. So it'll either take 2 weeks, or maybe what we could do would be a... Hold on, I need to actually do this quite quickly here. Or we would, maybe I decide to just do it over the weekend, like do a streaming weekend, maybe, I don't know. Maybe, if I get to make 2 videos over one weekend, we could do like a weekend of streaming, just to kind of, do some stuff that would take some more time that we could just do over the weekend, where it's not like a regular stream with a certain topic. It's just more like work. That was an idea, just to kind of, do some more time intense or time heavy, or project with more time, that require more time. Good video would be learning how to break down character objects into shapes, like this wall, for example, how to simplify it with rectangles, triangles, or etc. Yeah. Yeah, hold on, let me actually do that. Let me write that down in my notes. I am not gay. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. But I have nothing against any people, or any I guess preferences, you could say. Okay, let me write that down. Hold on. Content idea note list. What was it? How to simplify complex shapes. Okay. That's what I hope to be able to do someday for either clay sculpting or 3D printing. Hold on. Inspiration. Ooh. No, that's not the one. Oh, looks pretty good. Did you use different shapes for your sculpt? By the way, where did you post the what was it? What you want to do someday? Inspiration? No. Did you delete it? Or is that the one that, or do you mean the, what was it? Trigun Vash, the Stampede Statue review? Is it that one? Wait, where am I? Oh no, my notes. They've been leaked. There you go. Is it this one? Wait, nope, I don't need to hear you. That one? Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Could be pretty cool. You can definitely make a base mesh in 3 hours. What I want to do with it though is I want to make it posable, which means I would probably have to, so I want to sculpt my own base mesh. I also want to retopologize it. And I also want to, yeah, give it a an armature so that you can pose it before you actually go into the character. Just so you can have the pose before you create the character, or before you, I guess, customize it. I think there are some requirements that I have for the base mesh, which probably make it, you know, would make it take longer than just 3 hours. So okay, let's go. PNG. Hold on. Quick sketch. Day. What is it? Day 198. 1920 by 1920. By the way, because I wasn't able to sculpt over the weekend, I actually did some drawings. I've busted up my drawing skills again after multiple years of not drawing. They're not perfect, but I'm content with what I got. So if you want to see that, you can go to my Instagram, I guess, or Twitter or Facebook. Let me get rid of this timer. Basically learning how to see planes from reference. Yeah. Making it as simple as possible so you can then add more detail. Maybe it depends on how good you want to make the topology. Yeah, I want to make it very good to make it deformable as good as possible, or at least, you know, as good as I can. I've done one before, you know, the, what is it, Roberto base mesh. So I basically have an armature already. I just have to, maybe I'll make a simpler armature, because, you know, deformations you could sculpt afterwards. You just need to put the limbs in the general direction. But definitely, you know, it should be able to be in pretty crazy poses or pretty extreme poses. Topology is the part that will take longer if you want to make it really good. Yeah. Because you can be lazy with topology and do it fast, but your deforms will be bad. Exactly. So the head on the coffee filter. Yeah. The Greg base mesh. So I not only want to create a base mesh, of course, to create characters. Well, no. The base mesh is not only supposed to be used for full body characters, but also for like these portrait pieces, for example, which means that the topology needs to be quite uniform. What I mean is the Greg base mesh and the female base mesh that I have, they have certain, or the topologies kind of cater to their face, because their face has certain, like, I guess, unique features, which are hard to get rid of when you try to use that base mesh for a different character. What I mean is, for example, the nose is quite, so for example, if you have a if I use my base mesh and I smooth my mesh, I could change the nose, but the problem is if I smooth it, it kind of goes back into its original shape. What I kind of want to do with the new base mesh, and I have to kind of do some more research on it, how to optimize, I guess, your base mesh, is I want to make it as malleable as possible so that it doesn't go back to its original form, and it doesn't go to, and it's like very, very usable as a starting point for your characters. I think the biggest problem that I ran into so far is I've seen like multiple like people that do not 3D but more 2D art videos, and they of course can bust out like a character with full clothing and like lighting and all that stuff quite quickly, Just because it's 2D, you don't have to really, you know, if you want to pose your character, you just draw his like arm over there, and then if the arm is supposed to be over here, then you just, you know, erase it from here and put it over here. Of course, there's more to it, you know, lighting and all that stuff, but it's still easier than doing it in 3D. So what I want to do is I want to at least shave off a few hours by starting with a base mesh. So that will probably be at some point in the near future, just to kind of, you know, create some more elaborate characters without having to, you know, do it in multiple, like maybe even 2 weeks. We could maybe only need, I don't know, a few days, maybe only 1 week. Okay, we need a texture. We've done the basic adjustments. Resources, textures. Nope, not the folder. There you go. Oh, and also, welcome back, Lego Robot. Hope you had a good day. I've seen your sculpt, or I've seen your likeness sculpt of yourself. It looks very good. I'm curious what changes you still want to do. I guess some fine tuning, or are they like big changes that you want to do? Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think this looks okay. Let's save it. Yeah, it looks pretty good already. I've seen you put a light in the background to kind of look at the subsurface scattering as well. Lots and lots of little things. Yeah, you never run out of little things to adjust in your sculpts, especially likeness sculpts. There's always something that you wanna, or that you wanna change. Let me just note something down real quick. Content idea, is it this one? Yeah. How to make your characters more zigzag. Perfect. Okay. We are ready to continue. Wait, where's my phone? There it is. Maybe I also thought about making, like, I like to use, what is it called? Particle hair. The problem is particle hair can be quite annoying to set up. So what I thought about was maybe creating, I guess, wigs for characters. Basically just trying to create multiple different, I guess, hairstyles that you can then just put onto your character. Without, you know, having to change them. Of course, the head shape and head size and all that stuff would probably change. So there would still probably need to be some, you know, some small adjustments that you need to do. But I think you can still create a base mesh of particle hair. And then by sculpting, you just change the, you know, the surface. You align it with your, with the new character that you want to put your wig on. maybe it works, maybe not. Maybe it's just too fidgety at the end. It's probably worth giving it a shot at least. And then we can also talk about different hairstyles again. Wait, where am I? There you go. What do I need? There you go. Here's a pain in the butt, no matter what though. Yeah, true. Hair cards can be good. Yep, I've tried hair cards as well. The annoying part about hair cards, I think, is just curves. I hate using curves, so I try to stay as far away from them as possible. At least the curves with the arms. The other one are okay, like the where you just, I guess, extrude them out and you just have points that they like smooth themselves out on their own. I think they are okay, or at least better than the other curves. I've done 1 or 2 hair card sculpts, I mean hair card characters, and I never want to do them again. I've already managed to basically, I guess, create a wig for eyelashes. Eyelashes are quite simple though, so yeah, a like full head of hair is probably more complex. Okay, I'm gonna see you in 3 minutes, and then we're gonna begin with today's topic, which will be tablet versus mouse. What are the difference between using either in a sculpt? What are the difference when you're sculpting? We're gonna today begin with the mouse. We're gonna create a mouse sculpt. We're gonna sculpt the same character today and tomorrow, but today we're gonna use the mouse, and tomorrow we're gonna use the tablet. We're gonna go into that in 3 minutes when I've uploaded the image. You're not gonna look at me uploading the image. You're gonna look at a compilation. There will hopefully be another one soon. Probably when I guess, you know, what is it? Take my vacation. Did I have any vacation this year? I don't even know. Probably not. So yeah, let's get into this topic in 3 minutes. You know, a small 3 minutes of advertisement break, I guess, or hydration break. Go to the toilet or whatever. I'll see you then. Have fun. Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy. Music's back as well. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Let's get to it. Hold on. Don't want to cut off my head. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So let's get into today's topic. Let's just quickly summarize it again. Today's topic will be about sculpting. Blender or ZBrush or any 3D sculpting software, I guess you could say. Any software where you can digitally sculpt. We want to ask the question, or we want to answer the question, do you need a tablet? Does digital sculpting require a tablet? There are different, ways how you can, you know, use Blender sculpting. You could use a mouse, you could use a tablet, you could use a trackpad, a magic trackpad as well, you know. That's the external one that is like sitting on the side of it, or it's basically like a tablet for Apple where you can use your finger. A track ball, I think you could actually use as well. You could probably also use an iPad. I think James uses an iPad. Welcome up, Down Design. Hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday. Welcome. I'm using the Wacom Intuos, or Wacom. I think it's called Wacom. Wacom Intuos Art or Draw. They're not available anymore, or the ones that I have, the model. They, I guess, remade them, basically like a 2.0 version. I think they're now just called Wacom Intuos. I would have the medium size probably, not the small one, not the big one, but the medium size. So mine's pretty old still already, but if you want to get some, like probably the most similar tablet, you would probably get the Wacom Intuos, not with the display, but just the tablet, I guess, without the display. Yeah. So to answer the question, we will do 2 sculpts. The question we will only answer for the mouse and the tablet. So we're gonna square off the tablet and the mouse. We will do basically to kind of test both. We will create the same character. Why is this thing still here? Hold on. Oh, wait, what did I do? To test it, we will create the same character. The character we will create, I'm going to open in just a second. We will create the same character one time for the mouse and one time for the tablet. The challenge is basically to create the same character in the same amount of time. So we will not only check how, I guess, what the quality will look like for the character after these 2 hours. We will also see how fast we were. We will see how, I guess, comfortable it was. You know, it could be pretty straining to use the mouse, maybe not, we'll see. And then we'll also kind of, I guess, compare the two in how they work, the workflow basically. The one big difference is that you have pressure sensitivity on your tablet, which you don't really have on your mouse. So that's one thing you kind of have to adjust manually, you know, the pressure. It could be a big, you know, hindrance, it could be not, we'll see. After these 2 hours, we will have finished the mouse sculpt. Tomorrow we'll do the second part where we will sculpt the tablet version. I expect the tablet version to look better. So here are my, I guess, expectations for this challenge, or this I guess check, or this test experiment, whatever. Devil's comparison of mouse tablet. Okay, yeah. The differences, I think, is first of all, it's going to be more straining on my hand when I use the mouse. It's going to be slower when I use the mouse, just because of pressure sensitivity and smaller adjustments. And also probably not just because I'm not really super used to using a mouse. I'm probably also not going to be as precise as I can be with a mouse. I mean, with a tablet. But I think overall, the quality will not differ too much. That would be my prediction. We'll see how it's going to look when we're comparing the two. But let's create the first one today. We're going to give it 2 hours. And then we will, we're going to end it there. And I guess, you know, look at today's sculpt and kind of see, you know, kind of revisit how it was to do it with a mouse, and then we can do the same tomorrow for the tablet. Oh yeah, he did another one. Yeah. 1 hour mouse, 1 hour tablet. Nice, that's nice. Okay. What is that? Rogue Development Diary? Let me just quickly check that. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. Oh, thank God I didn't put that on the stream. We have some nude pictures there. If you want to see these pictures, you need to join the Discord. Perfect advertisement. Okay, yeah. that'll be yeah, I want to do some more stuff like this probably in the future. So that's why I want to get a a base mesh. Okay. So let's begin with today's sculpt. We will begin with mouse sculpt, as I said before. So let me just quickly show you what character we will sculpt today. Only Discords, exactly. There's the the spicy stuff. Okay, so I've grabbed a reference already. So this one we will not only, or I not only want to create a character, I actually want to practice, I guess, expressions as well. So I try to double dip. I like to put multiple purposes into one project. So today, let me just quickly show you what we will sculpt today. This is the character. Hold on. There you go. Wait, let's go to sculpting. There you go. Why are you still here? There you go. This is the character. Not this dragon, but her basically doing like a, I guess, kissing phase. I don't, you know, the dragon isn't there. She's basically doing doing this, but with slightly opened eyes, basically. That's the idea. So yeah, basically a quite drastic, I guess, expression, or quite, yeah, good, quite a big expression that I want to practice, you know, doing more expressions rather than just smiling characters, for example. You know, just to kind of give the characters more character. So this will be the subject that we will sculpt today and tomorrow. I try to actually include hair and the horns as well. Maybe some clothing. We'll see how far we can get though in these 2 hours. Let me actually set up the timer so we actually have a timer on screen so we don't get lost in time. Okay, hold on. There you go. Okay, so we have this. How much do we need? Down from not 30 minutes. We need 2 hours. Perfect. Okay. Wait, how do we add hours? Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. It's so weird not having a tablet here, but but okay, let's begin. Everything's ready. Everything's set up. Of course, what I sculpt, I have to use my F key to change the size. I have to use Shift F to change the strength, and I have to rotate and all that stuff with my middle mouse button. But nope, I'm not gonna let you distract me. Okay, we're gonna get into this, and we're gonna be fully concentrated. Okay, 2 hours. First sculpt mouse. Let's begin. Oh, hold on. I need to actually set up my my references. I almost forgot that. I'm not only going to use this as a reference. I have some like real life references, you could say, that I'm going to use as well, just to, you know, give me some more references that I can use. Okay, let me just quickly set them up, and then we can begin. There they are. Put them in there. Almost there. Just kind of set them up here neatly. I probably only need your face here. Perfect. Oh, no. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Almost there, just a few more, and then we can begin. Of course, you can try sculpting with a mouse as well if you want, if you're not using a mouse already. You know, you can always join the project. Doesn't need to be only for the quick sketch. There you go, okay. Perfect. Okay, let's begin today's project. If you have a mouse with the 2 side buttons near the thumb, I recommend using one of those for panning instead of the middle mouse. It will get absolutely insane after a few minutes. Yeah, I'm not going to change any settings. I'm just going to use the default settings. You can probably optimize it, but you know, share ref. Hold on, let me do a quick. Whoa. So, okay, I'm gonna share my refs. They will be. Hold on. They will not be optimized in terms of viewing, the viewing experience, but you have to take what I give you, okay? There you go. Worse, there we go. Today's, no. Reference for today and tomorrow. Okay, I see you already started stalling or distracting me. I'm not gonna let that happen anymore, okay? There you go. Okay. There you go. Hope you can work with that. Okay. Let's begin. 2 hours of mouse sculpting begins in 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. Wait, okay, perfect. Okay, so let's begin with the general stuff like the head shape. Hold on, we need the snake hook. Nice little face there. I immediately sense a little bit less. Maybe I just need to get used to the mouse. Okay, hold on. There you go, perfect. Make the normal head size, perfect, that's pretty good. Okay, so the first challenge will be to get used to the mouse. Once I kind of get to, oh, hold on, there you go. Once I kind of get used to the mouse, it'll be way easier. Just to kind of, whoa, 20 is quite big. Just to kind of, you know, work with what I have here. It'll take a few minutes, but I think once I get through them, it'll be way easier to handle this mouse. like a riding like riding a ball. Once you kind of get used, like once he and you kind of get used to the situation of you sitting on him, it's just kind of a little easier, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know, hopefully you can understand. Okay. So head shape first. The general head shape needs to fit before we can get into more detail. So right now I'm just trying to get this into a general head shape. This looks pretty good. Let's give her eye eye sockets roughly in the middle of the head. There you go. Perfect. So it's definitely first impression. I would say it's a little bit less smooth, the sculpting experience, just because with, you know, you can just, I don't know, you can do more smooth motions with the pen. As I said before though, it could only be preference, or it could only be that I'm used to using a pen. Maybe it'll be better in a few minutes, hopefully. We'll see though. This will be interesting to see. Okay, we're gonna put this higher. Everything else looks good so far. So next up, what I want to do is I want to give her, probably make the eyes just a little bit bigger. Pull them, make them a little bit wider. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Let's give her these nice ridges, or the edge around the eye. We're also going to use it to kind of dig in here, create the skull shape. I could skip some of this, but I want to do it just to kind of make sure that I get it right when it comes to the skull shape, the general skull shape. As we discussed multiple times, getting the beginning right is one of the most important parts about any sculpt. Okay. So what you're saying to me, Hustler, is that you asked for the reference and then you're trying to talk about some random stuff here? Unbelievable. Might be another ban-worthy reason. Another reason to ban. Okay. Another offense, bannable offense. Okay. There you go. Scope, smooth everything. So far it's looking quite okay. It's not straining just yet. It works quite well. It still feels, you know, I think what I just feel right now is just this sort of uneasy feeling of just trying something new that if you haven't used before, like this feeling of being not used to it. It's not really hindering me though right now. We'll see how it goes in later. Smoke bomb. Okay. There you go. Let's put in the nose. The nose seems to be quite low, or it has this nice bow on it, which I want to respect. But we will begin with a basic skull shape. So nothing too crazy. There you go. Now I have to manually adjust the pressure. I don't really use the pressure on my graphics tablet that much though. So it shouldn't be a huge difference. It's just, you know, a little bit more convenient to do it, you know, if you want to, by just, you know, applying less or more pressure. Okay. If I'm doing heavy sculpting, I use a tablet. I only use a mouse if I do very, very minor adjustments that I don't want to pull out my tablet for. Other than that, I always use the tablet, just because I feel like I have more control with it. Okay. There you go. Pull the nose bridge further out. Also give her this nice bridge here. Sort of dip into the face. Perfect. We can think about making the bridge smaller later. What I'm more worried about is the general shape. There you go, perfect. The mouth looks to be in a good position. I think the skull looks pretty good. We can now probably add the next layer. Let me see. Maybe we can make it a little bit thinner here. Okay. Side view looks pretty good. Perfect. Let's add the next layer, which would be muscles and the eye basically. Okay. First thing first, we need probably I like to start with the jaw muscle. I don't know why, but that's just the easiest one to add. There you go. Oh, okay. Credo sin importancia. Hope you hope you're successful in fighting the dinosaur. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Tablet is just better. Yeah. I think tablet has slight benefits that you can't really get with a mouse. But I think if you don't really have a mouse, it's not, you know, it's not really crucial to you being able to sculpt anything. Okay, so I'm going to start with probably a basic mouth, and then we're going to go into the expression a little bit later. I think that's going to be the plan for this. Quite a pointy, what is it? Pointy, not chin, not jaw. What is this thing called again? I can't remember. Okay. There you go. So she has a basic mouth here. Let's put in the distinction from the upper and lower lip. Okay. Let's add a nose as well. Mandible? No. I mean the, what, dude, I can't remember what it's called. Chin? Is it a chin? Yeah, it's a chin. So I like to begin with a basic head shape, and then I like to add more characteristics, unique characteristics, once I have the basics in the sculpt. So what I try to do here is basically just create the basic head shape first. I see what I want to change first is probably pull her mouth higher. We'll probably do that after we have everything in here though. Okay. Smooth everything out some more. There you go. Let's see, so the nose tip can probably be a little bit more refined here. We don't really need the holes just yet, but we can maybe at least do a rough, there you go, rough sketch of them. Perfect. Okay. Mentalis? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so we have the muscles at the bottom. I also want to first of all change this. He kind of has a the lower jaw is further in the front than the upper jaw, which is not looking quite so good. So I'm going to pull it just slightly back like this. Perfect. Okay, smooth it. Let's go to the eyes. We're going to need some eyes here, so I'm just going to fill this again to add the eyes. This is basically the new technique that I use to add eyes to a character. I'm not adding eyes, or basically like the eye model, and then wrap the sculpt around it. I basically just add this sort of, I fill the eye hole, and then afterwards I add the hold on. Afterwards I add the eye, once I have the actual eye hole, the eye-shaped eye hole. Adding the little fat up here. There you go, not too much. Perfect. So far I'm getting kind of in the groove of using a mouse. It's getting easier, you know, you kind of get used to what you need to use for it to work. The problem is, because I'm not used to using a mouse, it requires more of my, I guess, brain power, my almost infinite brain power to think about what I need to do, which I then cannot spend on, I guess, the more technical or the more anatomical stuff, like, oh, well, where should the eyes be? Where should, you know, do I need to change the shape of this, of that? I can't really do that as effectively as I would like to, or as I could with a tablet, because I'm used to using a tablet. I don't use a mouse that often, so I need to think about what I need to do a little bit more than if I would use a tablet, which requires a little bit more brain space. There you go. Look at him. Looks like a proper, I don't know, écorché sculpt. Okay. Looks like an old dude right now. Okay, now that we have everything in here that we basically need for the basic sculpt, now we first save the sculpt. I don't want to lose my progress, so how about we sculpt? I mean, we save this real quick. Mouse. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's continue. So, okay, first of all, we need some more stuff here. Smooth it out. Let's now give it some more detail, or let's characterize it. Let's make it more unique. Give this character some more unique features. First of all, I'm gonna pull everything probably closer together, especially the mouth. The mouth is too far down. Looks more like a male, I guess. Mainly probably because of the distance from the nose, the bottom of the nose, to the lips. Usually females have a smaller distance between the lips and the nose. So by pulling it up, it should kind of help in making it more female. It's also closer to the reference. I try to still keep it's slightly stylized, but I still try to stick quite closely to it. One thing that we need now is probably the expression. The expression is quite different to what we have here. So let's now add the expression. First of all, I'm going to kind of pucker the teeth, the lips, pull them forward. And then we're going to shape the lips. Okay. There you go. First general draft, first rough draft of kissing lips. There you go. Looking pretty rough, but it's a good beginning. Hopefully. There you go. Yeah, looks pretty okay. Okay. Let's continue. One thing that I want to do here is, first of all, I want to make the face more smooth. I also want to fill this hole right here. What I'm actually quite curious is what this hole gets filled with. Because if you try to feel out this hole on your own skull, you can't really feel it. So if you try to go back here and you kind of push and kind of, you do this, you don't really feel that there's anything soft in there. It feels super hard. I wonder what it gets filled with. I know that there's some sort of muscle there. I just don't know how it really works or why there would be a muscle. Why is there a muscle behind the eye? It probably has some sort of function that is related to the eye. I just don't know what it is. There you go. Perfect. Usually if you use a what is that? Oh no. I've never seen that before. What did I even press? Shift D. What is that? Wait, is that like the... Oh, that's the dynamic topology resolution. I've never seen that before. Wow. Shift D. But you can't see the actual value, can you? Oh, you can't. That's kind of bad. I would like to be able to dynamically change it to 50. Wait, you can... Wait, can you... Hold on. No, you can't. Okay. Well, but good to know, I guess. By misclicking with my mouse, I found the new shortcut. Okay, so by doing this sort of lip puckering and kind of doing this kissing face, you reveal or you kind of stress the cheekbones a little bit more. So we kind of have to stress those a little bit more, as you can see. I'm also gonna probably make the chin a little bit slimmer here. There you go. I think the muscle there connects to the jaw. Maybe. Maybe. To hold your ear. So I know that you can move. Okay, well, I know because I can do it myself. Not to brag or something. No, I don't know if that's anything you could brag with, but I can basically move my scalp or my hair just by moving some sort of muscle at the back of my head, basically pulling it forward and backwards, and that also includes my ears. If I do that, I move not only my hair but also my ears, and that means there's the muscle in the back that does that. But what would the muscle do in the front? because the muscle is supposed to move. You know, the muscle is supposed to contract and relax to do some sort of motion. But what motion is required behind the ear? I mean, behind the eye, between the eye and the ear, basically. I wonder what that is. You know, holding something. Of course, there's stabilizing muscles that, you know, that could be something. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's a skin flexor. I like the torches we're getting. What? Okay, hold on. First of all, we need to make this deeper here. Wait, looser, just so I can make this a little bit easier. The problem is because I rest my full arm on the table, every time I do these repetitive swipes here, because I'm standing, my entire table kind of moves, which makes it so that I probably kind of wiggle in the webcam. Everything is shaking, but that's just how it is, I guess. Okay, there you go. I also want to smooth this some more. There you go. Okay. So the next step that I want to do is I want to pull the nostril a little bit higher. I want to kind of adjust the nose shape. There you go. I want to give it this more round shape like this. I think that's better. This is more akin to the reference. What I want to do now is I want to give her actually the eyelids. Kind of give him this general eyelid shape. I'm not going to add more detail to it just yet. I think once I go into level 50, we can add more detail to it. There you go. This should kind of work just to kind of guess whether or not everything is in the right spot. There you go. Okay. Okay, now let's do some smaller adjustments, like, for example, probably we still need the fat pad here. It's not gone. It's just a little bit fainter because it's kind of stretched out some more. So we do have to sort of make it less extreme. But it's especially visible up here, like there. There you go. We also need some fat underneath the eye. There you go. Smooth it, maybe pull the cheekbones a little bit lower. Not too far though. I also want to smooth this just a little bit. She looks kind of too skinny. There you go. Okay. We can probably pull the lips a little bit further forward. Okay, perfect. Also giving her this more, like, I guess, relaxed, happy expression on the eyebrows. We don't have any, you know, actual eyebrow hair just yet, but, you know, that'll come later. Changing the head shape a little bit, making it slimmer. Oh, not too slim though. Okay, we probably also need some ears now. Without ears, it looks kind of weird. There you go. So the temporalis is the muscle which is kind of round and flat on the side of the head. And you have 3 muscles around the ear, which would be the ones which allow you to move the ear. The auricularis. Hold on, let me just quickly check that. So we have my dude here. There's like a I guess like a disc around the ear, definitely. I'm not saying I didn't believe you, but I wanted to see it for myself. So that is basically what fills the head right there. There are some muscles that probably connect from here to the head, to the ear. Yeah, just to kind of, I guess, do minor adjustments to it. Maybe they're like this, it feels this hard just because it's, they're actually quite stiff. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, so to make it look more like a human, we need a few things. First thing is we need ears. And then the next one would be a neck. Let's begin with the first one, the ear. Welcome, Hype Ear. Hype Ear. Interesting name. When did you start streaming? Do you mean overall or today? Today it was I don't know, 10, what is it, like 7, no, 6:50, 6:55 p.m. overall in late January. The first stream I ever did is still on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube live channel. If you want to watch that, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want, you can. You know, that's the wonders of the internet. You know, the good thing about the internet, everything that you put on the internet is still there, or it stays on the internet. So do my old streams. So if you want to, you can still look at them. But to answer the question, I began somewhere, I think late January or beginning of February. I think the first one was late January. Or I considered it at the beginning of January. No, end of January. Okay. I'm just learning the anatomy, so it's good for me to talk about it. Just a little, yeah, exactly. That's the best way to learn. Either to, I guess, reinforce it by replicating or reinforcing by explaining. At least in my experience. Hustler stop distracting, no, he distracts himself anyway. I know. I'm horrible at not distracting myself. But we've gotten quite far so far, so I'm not too concerned. Dude, it's kind of annoying that it kind of, you know, shakes. You could see the microphone, woo! But, you know, we're almost at half an hour. Let's reflect on how far we've gotten and, you know, kind of the experience so far. So, in my opinion, I'm getting the hang of it. After 30 minutes, I'm kind of getting used to the workflow. I'm getting more comfortable when it comes to using the brushes or the tools. It's not straining so far on my hand. Maybe I'm hardened by all the insane gaming that I do sometimes, so that my hands, you know, are more used to this level of abuse. But you know, it's not straining so far. Maybe it'll be later, maybe not, we'll see. So far it's pretty good. So, you know, maybe there isn't really like a big difference in the end. I'm not quite sure how fast we'll be with the tablet. I feel a little bit slower than if I would use the tablet, just because, especially in the beginning, I wasn't used to how the mouse works. Not because I haven't used it before, but how it kind of interacts with the brushes, and not having the usual same flow that I have with a graphics tablet. But overall, so far it's been quite enjoyable. Not that different. It's just a little bit unusual, I guess you could say, because you have a different way of working with the same program. Did you study sculpting? Well, I've done sculpting now for 2 years, I guess. I never Well, so what do you mean with study? Do you mean like real sculpting or all digital sculpting? I've done, what do you call it? Yeah, digital sculpting for 2 years. I've never done any other sculpting before. And all I basically have done to improve is sometimes I would do like deliberate practice, anatomy practice, where I sculpt a certain limb, for example. But I would never really say like, okay, well, this week I will try to improve on sculpting or understanding the arm. It just came while doing, I guess you can say. I never said like, okay, I want to understand how the arm works. I've done that more recently, just because I kind of feel like this would be the next step in improving my sculpts. Learning how, like, the mechanics of the arm, so that when you pose a character, you actually know what the muscles, how the muscles would change the shape of the arm. But I never did that before. I only really did like project that I wanted to do. Oh, well, I want to sculpt a character that looks like this today, or I got this inspiration for this character, let's sculpt it. And this way I then afterwards reflected on it and kind of collected all the basically criticism I had on like for the sculpt and tried to improve on that for the next sculpt. Similar to what I want to basically provide by giving, by doing these personal feedback sessions. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to see anything or like small things on your own. So a second, eye on something can help make it more visible, or just kind of, put your eye onto something that you haven't seen before. I'm not aiming to sculpt the entire character. That'll probably be too much time. That'll probably be too much time for this project. What I try to get to is a face with hair, the horns, and probably like a bust, basically all the way to the neck, probably like this. That'll be the goal. The focus is on the face, not too much on the body. Dude. Academic programs. Do you mean, did I study academically, like anatomy basically, or stuff like that? I haven't been to any art school or anything like that. All I've learned was by myself. First by drawing and then by sculpting. So I basically, after doing digital drawing for roughly 3 years, I think, I went over to sculpting. So I kind of had like a I guess knowledge base already, so I didn't start from scratch. I just needed to learn how to translate my already existing knowledge, which wasn't super crazy, but still there. I needed to kind of learn how to translate that to 3D. Okay. Oh, that's quite strong. Kind of giving her that smile. Also keep in mind that you have 2 muscles at the bottom of your lip. One for one side and one for the other. Basically like this. I try to keep them in mind. They are stretched as well. So they're not going to be super voluminous. For female characters they aren't anyway. But you still need to keep them in mind. Usually all muscles slightly change or slightly contribute to the overall structure of the face. So keeping in mind every single muscle is important to create like truly realistic characters. There you go. Well, the good thing is, as I think you or somebody else said before, I think you said it, by giving other people feedback, I do not only like give them knowledge, I guess. But I also learned from, you know, looking at what could be improved and how to explain what could be improved and how to, depict it. Not only can I share the knowledge, I can actually reinforce that knowledge for myself as well, which is actually quite helpful for me as well. I've learned, or I've kind of realized a few things by just explaining the concepts to other people, which I think can not only help me in creating better characters, but also help me in explaining the concepts better in the future. Okay. I think we're pretty good so far. What I want to do here first is I want to pull this a little bit further back. I also want to pull the lower lip further back than the other lip. Also, what I want to do is probably make this more in a heart shape so that the lower lip is thinner than the upper lip, more like this. We could maybe make it overall a little bit wider though. Well, how about that? Let's see what that looks like. Not too much though. I think that's a pretty good spot here. Perfect. Okay. I studied illustration, and I'm not 100% sure that the course was worth taking. Okay. Illustration, more 2D illustration, I'm guessing. Not really like graphic design, but actually like, yeah, illustration. Yeah, I've never, well, I had a, what do you call it? Like a subscription or a membership for a website before, which was Blender Cookie, where I've done a few, or where I learned a few different topics like retopology or creating particle hairstyles. But after we talked about, well, we need to make this look more like a human, let's add the neck. After basically like being more focused on actually creating projects with the new knowledge that I learned, I decided to, I guess, unsubscribe or quit being a member. That sounds weird. And yeah, just kind of learning by doing. 2D graphic design course. Yeah. So which program would you use? Illustrator or is like some Affinity program? Is it called Affinity? I think so. Or maybe something completely different. Something more drawing oriented. Oh, that's quite far. You're not that far. There you go. Okay. Make the neck quite thin to make it look more female. More slender, you could say. It's definitely, so one difference that I kind of see is it is definitely more comfortable for me to just overall work with a lower strength. This way I have more control over the strokes that I do. I might have to do more strokes, but I overall have more control over where I can place them, where I need to place them, and what I kind of, I guess, change they have. With the tablet, I'm probably just more comfortable in using very, very broad strokes. I definitely can work with stronger strengths with a tablet. That could be, one reason could be just being more comfortable. Another reason could also be just because I have different, because I have the, what is it called? Pressure sensitivity on the tablet, so I can kind of vary it more with the tablet. Photoshop and animate Flash. After Effects after uni. Yeah. Oh, so not even Illustrator, but After Effects and Photoshop and Flash. To be honest, I think when you start graphic design or illustration, I think Photoshop is easier to use or to learn with than Illustrator. Illustrator is very, very what do you call it? Like very, very limited to what you can do. I think overall it is, I think Photoshop is like Blender in a certain way, and Illustrator is more like ZBrush. Illustrator has a certain thing that it is very, very good at, but it can't do stuff like adjusting the colors or anything else, or like a lot of other stuff that well, that Photoshop can. But if you want to do illustrations and you know what you're doing, then Illustrator is a very, very good tool. The pen tool, yeah. That's one of the, you know, the first things you learn when you try to learn illustration or Illustrator overall, how to use the pen tool. It's quite simple, but you kind of need to understand the basic principle behind it, the mechanic, you could say. Once you kind of know how that works, then it gets quite simple. Okay, now we're getting to the neck. First of all, I'm going to fill this up. There you go. Perfect. I definitely like this madcap. It definitely doesn't feel as flat anymore because of this nice highlight that we have. It is also, I like it more than the, oh, hello. I like it more than the old madcap just because we have actual, I guess, realistic shadows. It's not coming from the top, so we can still see the structure of the top, like the top part of the sculpt, not only from the bottom where the shadow is, but actually from the top as well, because there's a slight shadow there as well, because the light is coming from the front. I think that's a good way, good place to basically place your light, just because then you have a little bit more focus on what you're actually looking at. You don't really, you know, work on this character by sculpting over here. You basically always look at what you're trying to sculpt. If you try to work on the ear, you probably work like this, not really from here. So having the light come from the front, maybe a little bit higher than the camera, you get these nice shadows in your model. Photoshop for bitmap, Illustrator for vector. Yeah. Vectors are the one big advantage that Illustrator has. You can use smart objects in Photoshop, but still, you know, they're kind of limited. So using Illustrator for stuff like illustrations with vector, what is it? Like vector design illustrations is definitely a good a plus. Stuff like stylizing, what is it called? Fonts, for example, or logos is way, way easier in Illustrator because of all the path tools and all that stuff. So yeah, Photoshop is, I think, a good beginning when you start to get into design, but then once you kind of gonna go more into a more narrow topic like illustration and vector design, I think Illustrator is definitely the call. There you go. Pull it out. Pull it. Okay. So I like to make this neck quite long, actually quite thin. So I'm gonna just do that. Give it a slight stylization. I looked at profile view female heads, and what I discovered is that the back of the neck is actually quite straight. So you can see how the back is quite straight, but the front goes back. It's more like this. This is the back. It's a slight arc in there like this. It's not that strong though. Maybe it goes a little bit further back. Maybe it just stays straight. But then the front goes slightly back. I think what I've done before is kind of a mix between the two. so that both kind of go into the middle and then go out again. It is actually a little bit more like this, where only the front goes like into the neck, into the neck basically. There you go. Okay, we're definitely getting there. Looks pretty good so far. So one thing that I kind of don't like is the head shape. Let me adjust the head shape a little bit. It looks too blocky, so I'm just going to smooth this out some more. This definitely looks better. I want to smooth this out here as well. There you go, nice and round. I like that. Better. Hustler, I'm expecting a sculpt afterwards, okay? If I'm giving you the reference, I expect something in the end, okay? I'm not spending my time here just throwing out my reference for nothing, okay? Okay. Usually if you stretch out your neck as well, the jawline gets more defined. So we can kind of take that into account here. There you go. We can probably smooth the jaw a little bit. There you go. Okay. Giving everything a little bit more volume, making it look less flat. Perfect. We also have this here. This looks pretty good. I want to kind of emphasize the cheekbone a little bit more, so I'm just going to dig in here. Not too strong though. Okay, perfect. That's pretty good. Okay. Restarted it 2 times already. You need to commit. I see you have commitment issues with your sculpts. Maybe that's the problem. No. Yeah, it's definitely a hard decision in my opinion to make, whether or not you restart or you try to fix it. I've done one quick sketch before, like the orc, female orc, where I redid it. I did a second try and it definitely went way, way better than the first one. But I sometimes also try to fix what I had before. It's kind of just a, I guess, decision you have to make. Sometimes one is better, sometimes the other. 11 AM for you? Okay. I am guessing you have to work tomorrow. Or is it still... is that still, you know... Do you still not know? I'm guessing by now you should know, right? Okay. Also pulling the eye corner higher on the outer side than on the other inner makes it look more feminine as well. Like cat eyes, basically. That's what I'm doing here. There you go. Your experience, and you already kind of know how you can fix a bad sculpt, or you already see the end result from the first few stages, so you know where you are headed. Well, but I can only know how to fix. But for me, the mistakes just kind of pile up and I get too confused, not knowing what to fix. But you can only know what to fix by trying it and learning it. While you can avoid getting into the problem in the first hand, but I think you have to learn it by just experimenting, I guess. Of course, maybe you do that already, trying to fix it, but then it doesn't work, so you just try again. But yeah, I definitely try to fix it before I go into the next one. If I just see, well, you know, there's no hope for this one, I'll just try again. But yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to what we talked about last week in the feedback session, where we talked about having a certain face already in your mind, and if the face isn't, you know, perfect, then it gets kind of hard to get to a good state. You kind of have to, you know, just kind of practice and do more and more to get to a good head in your head. Okay, I want to definitely give this a more round shape, so I'm just going to pull this back forward. There you go, because the eyeball needs to be behind this. I also want to bring the, I want to open the eyes later. So I'm going to save it here. Nostrils move down a little instead of up when you do make that face. Yeah. I'm kind of torn between kind of recreating this and recreating a, like, the realistic face. I think I'm going to do the latter. So I'm going to pull them down. You know, this one is very stylized with this very, I guess, long curved nose, which you can kind of respect, but I think the nostrils need to be lower. I agree. I also have a mirror right here. Hold on. My foldable mirror. There you go. Okay. We're almost an hour in. Let's get to 50 and just do some adjustments. And then let's get to something more detailed, like the hair and the ears. The ears need some adjustments as well. I probably do detail flood fill for this. This will just be easier than trying to kind of go over everything on my own. So now I can just go in here and kind of smooth everything. There you go. And add some more detail. Yeah, mirror is very, very good. Okay. Let's get a little bit bolder here. Use some more strength. Carve out more here. Let's get into some detailing, giving everything more shape. Okay, so one thing that I want to change here is definitely the nose. Hold on. Okay, let's give this nose a little bit more detail. First of all, I'm gonna give these nostrils some more volume at the bottom. Right here, perfect. Also gonna do this. I don't really have a good side view of like a real person doing the kissing emote, I wanted to say, like the kissing expression, but I think what we have here should be good enough. There you go. Next we have the tip. The tip definitely needs some more structure. There you go. Maybe this gets too long, we'll see. It looks okay so far. I like to keep it quite pointy, as this one is as well. So more like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. That's pretty cool. I like it. Making a little bit more stylized, you could say. Not too much though, to kind of distract from it. I like the shape. It's just something. I have a certain way of creating noses, and this one kind of goes off of that basic nose shape. So I kind of want to keep that in here. I like the shape. I like the shape. Yeah. I like that. Perfect. That's pretty cool. Get these nice sharp angles in there. in there. Post side view in Discord. Hold on. It's time for a drink real quick. Okay. Side view, hold on. Ooh. Okay. Thank you for that. That'll be helpful. Okay, let's get to the lips. We need some more structure here. So how about we add more strength to this and just kind of draw it in. Beginning with the, I guess, distinction between the upper and lower lip. There you go. Now let's add some volume. First thing first, I think overall this needs to be pushed in some more. Just to kind of give it some more room to work with. They looked kind of flat before. I also want to add this sort of middle piece here. I also want to give her quite some, I guess, sharp features. Like, for example, for the nose, I want to do the same for the lips. So the plan that I have is basically to create very, very sharp lips, you could say. What I mean by that is, first of all, here in the middle, you can see these very, very sharp kind of tips. These two, I like to keep them quite sharp for this. One thing you can do with the mouse that you can't really do with the tablet, except I can, because then Blender just crashes, is basically tapping really quickly. This way you don't do a full stroke, but you can just kind of tap and kind of use it like sensitivity or like pressure. By just tapping it, you don't apply the full strength to it. You actually just apply a little bit of that strength to it. By doing a full stroke, just by holding left mouse button, you just overall apply more pressure with the brush that you're using, which is quite helpful in just kind of doing small adjustments actually, without having to change the strength. Okay, we need the lower lips now, so let's add those. Let's see if we can make those a little bit pointier as well. Nice and puffy. Perfect. Oh, that's pretty good. It's probably a little bit too puffy. We can maybe dial it down just a little bit. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay. I want to give her this slight smile here, but I want to pull it further out. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Comes pretty close to the reference, the original reference. I don't like the lower lips though, we're gonna have to adjust those a little bit. I think there needs to be some more volume over here. There you go, perfect. Okay, so one thing that I want to do here, as I said before, is kind of make the lips a little bit sharper here at the top. So I'm just going to do that right now. Also, I want to give her sharper, I don't know what that's called, like the, I don't even know what that's called. Like the small little like bump or dip from the lip to the nose that connects the two. I don't know, but it's there and we're going to keep it there. And we're going to make it sharp. Same for the chin. Septum. Oh. Wait. Is that... wait, if I hear septum, I think of septum piercing. Is that what... Is that a thing? I mean, I know that you can have a piercing there, but is that like the actual name for it? Or is... I don't know. Isn't the septum like the middle of the nose? I don't know. Yeah, the nostril divider. There you go. So I think one thing we have to account for tomorrow is definitely the speed will probably be improved just by the fact of me having experience with the sculpt. Because I've sculpted it before, I kind of know a little bit better what I'm kind of getting into or what my plan is. You know, I know how I want to design the nose. I know how to design the the lips and all that stuff, kind of how the expression works. So that will definitely be one thing we have to account for. I have an advantage when I use the tablet, just by kind of knowing what I'm getting into. But yeah, I think the difference will be more about the experience and the workflow rather than the outcome. I think the outcome can be very similar on both. Filitum. Okay. Interesting. Okay, creating the eyes here. Looking kind of rough right now. Let's see if we can adjust them. First of all, we're gonna sort of define the eyelids a little bit more so we can then work on those some more. So one problem that I kind of walked into, or that I discovered when creating matte caps, is the lighting has to distinguish between top and bottom. Your top shadow, you can't just create a light that is basically shining from the front, because then if it's only coming from the front, the top of the sculpt and the top of the bottom of the sculpt will look similar because the shadows are the same. The problem with that is that the if you can't see the difference between this and this, you can't see it because there's a shadow at the top and a shadow at the bottom. Same for the bump. If you don't have a difference between the shadow that is at the top and at the bottom, you just can't see what you're actually looking at. That's one thing that I kind of discovered. So if you're ever trying to make your matte cap, your own matte cap, keep that in mind. Either just add a light at the top to kind of distinguish between top and bottom, or, I don't know, create a different lighting setting. Welcome, Yanis. Hope? you've enjoyed your weekend. I'm guessing you've been working on your ship. Wait, on your spaceship. And also, I'm guessing you've been flying. Done some flying. Some gliding, you could say. Glider, exactly. You didn't? Oh, so fully committed to gliding this weekend. I like the commitment. Okay. I think what we need now are some eyes, just to kind of get closer to what I'm looking for. You didn't glide. Oh. How often do you do it? How often can you do it? Is it like a expensive hobby? I guess there would be like a club where you could join to do it. But it sounds like a pretty elaborate hobby. Maybe it's not even a hobby, maybe it's a job. But if that would be your job, you would probably do it more often. So yeah, it seems like a pretty elaborate hobby, which requires more than just, you know, getting there. You also have to set up, you know, your glider, and maybe even prepare that there's nothing else in the air, I could imagine. Okay. But it doesn't even sound too bad. 4.5 euros per launch. You would probably pay more for a for a like a roller coaster ride. It also seemed like you were in the air for quite a while, so it sounds pretty worth to me. There you go. There you go, perfect. Smooth it. Okay, perfect. I want to kind of push this in some more, I think. Just to kind of make the head a little bit skinnier. I also want to adjust the ears. The ears are the biggest change that I want to do here. The ears are very pointy, as you can see. So let's adjust the ear shape. I want to separate the ear from the rest so I don't kind of, you know, mess up the head. So let's just mask it. I wish there was, hold on. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Wait, does it? No. I wish there was a way to use the X-ray mode to mask stuff so you can go through the surface. Maybe there's a way, I just don't know. Let me just quickly sit back down. We have 52 minutes left. Hold on. Okay. You're working on a glider. Do you have to build them yourself, or is that more like an advanced thing? At the beginning, when you learn, you have a pre-built glider, but then you can customize it once you're more experienced. Oh, and Blender. Oh, okay. Interesting. Are you trying to 3D print your own glider? I guess just to design it. Maybe some cool decals, you know? Oh, for an animation, okay. Interesting. There you go. Okay. Making the ear a little bit sharper, I also now need to adjust the ear shape. We need to bring back front faces only, which is already active. The music just stopped. Why? Nobody knows. Oh, there's just a little stop at the end. There you go, perfect. Is distracting back on the menu? It never was. This just reminds me of the meme. What was it? Like, it's been this and that all along? No, what was it? Wait, this is that? And then the other astronaut on the moon holding a gun to the other astronaut. It's been this and that all along. And then the reverse. Wait, is distracting back on the menu? It never was. Okay. No memes here, okay? We're a serious sculpting stream, okay? We're doing serious experiments with serious topics, serious characters, so no memeing allowed. See, joking equals ban. It's always been. No. If you want to get banned, yeah. But other than that, well, if you in particular want to get banned, you know, if anybody else tries to distract, they're not getting banned. But if you try to distract, then you're getting banned. Okay. I think another good function for mouse users is the accumulate function. Accumulate basically just, you know, it accumulates the strength. So the more you just go over the same patch of surface, you can add more and more volume without having to reapply the brush, which can be quite helpful when you're using a mouse. It's also quite helpful if you're using a tablet though, so it's probably just a benefit for both. I wouldn't use it everywhere, but it's quite helpful there. Okay. So the next goal would be not only the ears, but also the horns. So the ears are almost done. Then we'll get to the horns. They're part of the head, so why not add them before we go to stuff like the hair. We have 48 minutes left. I would like to have 30 minutes for the hair. So that's the plan. There you go. It feels pretty good now. It's not like my hands are straining. I can imagine doing it over multiple weeks or over multiple days, maybe multiple weeks. It can get quite straining. But right now it's okay. There's not like a big strain on my on my fingers. Okay, the ears are there. They could probably be a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna keep them like this. Let's go to the horns. horns are annoying when you're trying to create hair, because horns occupy a lot of space on your head. So there's way less amount of space for hair to be placed at. I did a character before with 4 horns, which meant that there was very little space for hair to be placed. Drawings don't really care about that necessarily, I kind of discovered. They just add hair where they want to be. So, oh well, there needs to be a little bit more hair to cover this horn, like kind of base, where the horn is coming out of the skull. So let's just add some more hair there, where there wouldn't really be hair. You can't really do that in 3D. I mean, you could, but it would just look weird. So you kind of have to stick to realism some more. So yeah, horns are very annoying when you create characters with hair, I guess, because horns take a lot of space. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing that you can do to alleviate that. Hair can still cover the base, but the problem is the further forward you place the horns, the more the less you can cover it. And it's just overall annoying. Okay, let me just quickly add some details here to the neck, especially here down here. There you go. Smoothing it. Perfect. Also here for the 2 muscles there. Perfect. Okay, I like these very sharp angles here for the jaw, for example, for the nose, also for the ear and the lips. I think we're in a good spot there. Maybe we can make the ears, I think the eyes a little bit bigger. Just pull them out some more. There you go. The hardest part about sculpting hair is probably sculpting eyelashes. That's the hardest part to sculpt. But we'll see if we can actually do it. Okay. There you go, adding some more fat here, smoothing the face a little bit more. Okay, perfect. Let's add the horns now. I like to add horns by grabbing a mask. The horns seem to be quite far in the front, but not at the beginning of the hairline. So let's just place some here. I would say they're quite big, so we need quite a big base here. Right there. They can probably be even bigger. Nice and girthy horns. Perfect. I mean, you don't have to compare yours to mine. You can compare yours to the previous ones. I don't know if comparing yours to mine is really a good way to do, I don't know, anything. You know, you don't really, well, you can probably learn from it, but it's probably better to compare it to your previous one, your previous sculpt. Comparing is never good. It'll only lead to frustration when it comes to comparing yourself to others. Okay, before I continue, I'm gonna make this a round shape, just because these horns are round, so I'm gonna make them round. There you go. Yeah, I think that's a good thing when you know the premise, or when you know what, or when the goal is to sculpt a certain specific character or whatever, anything, to create something very specific where everybody kind of gets to the same goal. You can comparing, I think, can be a good thing, because then you can kind of learn what you can do better next time. But when it comes to general, I guess, like work, artworks and all that stuff, I don't think that's a good thing to compare to others. Others might have already been working for multiple years in that topic, or in that you know, working with that topic or whatever, more than you. So you can't really, there are so many variables that could, you know, be different between you and the other person, that it's not really worth comparing yourself to another person. There you go. Dig in here just to kind of make this more like, or kind of keep the base of the horn where it was before. It's quite close to the hair, so it's kind of hard to distinguish between the horn and the hair, or the skull. But it'll work. Adjusting the shape just a little bit, maybe making it a little bit more round here by pulling it outwards rather than inwards. Probably a good thing here. There you go. Okay, I think the shape is pretty good. Let's finish the end. Wait. Okay. Going slightly over the edge, I kind of found that that's a little bit helpful when it comes to pulling or using the snake hook brush, just because then you can kind of keep the silhouette or the shape a little bit better. Oh. There you go. Not too far off. Perfect. Yeah, I guess the best way to do stuff like this would be to compare afterwards, not while you're doing it, because then you could, you know, fall into the trap of trying to copy what the other has, or just overall being affected, or your work being affected by what another person does just by seeing it. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's definitely better to compare at the end, because then you can fully focus on what you want to do with it, rather than getting affected, or letting your work being affected by other people's work. They twist. Well, it's different on these two, I think. Seems like they might rotate inwards. Hold on. There you go. That should work. I hate doing horns or any protrusions, especially when they're pretty long and have this curve, because it gets quite hard to use the snakehook brush. The snakehook brush loses more and more of the original shape the more curves you do, which is super annoying. I wonder if there's some sort of setting that can kind of mitigate that. Probably not though. Okay. Okay, let's add some more structure here, just to kind of round out the shape. We almost are at 30 minutes, perfect. So we actually have 30 minutes for the hair, which I actually prefer, rather than 30 minutes for the horns and the hair. The hair can be quite complex, depending on how much detail we want to add. Even just the basic structure can take a while. There you go. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more over here, and then we're done. Okay. Perfect. Use the skin modifier for horns. Yeah, I don't like going out of scope mode. I know that's not really a good excuse, but you know, it's better than nothing. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so it's time for some hair. Before I do that though, I want to add some eyes. So I don't know if I want to use the eye. You know what? Let's use the eye base mesh. I can still change the color. 3D database, base mesh eye. There you are. So small. Look at him. Okay. Whoop. Let's see. We need to apply the textures before you can see anything. So how about we do that now? Wait. Oh, yeah, there we are. Perfect. So first the outside transmission. I wonder if there's a way to always have them already linked. Diffuse. There you are. What do we have here? Normal. Okay, perfect. First one done. Slot 2 for the inside, for the iris. What is it? Eye texture diffuse. There you go. And one more, which would be the normal. Perfect. Okay. The eyes look quite small, but I think that's okay. That's quite fitting for this character. Maybe a little bit too small for the eye socket at least. The eye is roughly as big as the eye opening. One thing to keep in mind. I think that's pretty good. You can see how the circle is right close to the outer corner. So it fits quite well. There you go. Yep, that's a shiny eye. Looks better this way. See, you don't really get transmission with material preview. That's why it looks so weird. You know, this reflection there. You can't really get transmissions in material preview. At least not that I know of. Okay, let's adjust a few things here. Now that we actually have an eyeball, we can make some adjustments way easier. First things first, I'm going to pull this back. There you go. Perfect. First thing done. Next thing, the lower eyelid. Make the eyelid a little bit thicker. That's better. Perfect. Also kind of highlight the what is it? Lower eyelid a little bit more as well. That should work quite well. Perfect. I also want to give her a slight smiling expression. So we kind of have to move the corner of the mouth a little bit higher. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. Perfect. Okay. Okay, perfect. So after doing some slight adjustments to the face, I think we're in a pretty good spot there. I think it is time for the hair. Nice rhyme there. All intentional, of course. Hold on. Okay. I think we need to pull the lower eyelid a little bit higher, as you can see. I like the expression of this half-closed eye. I think we can just kind of close the eye a little bit more by raising the upper eyelid. I mean the lower eyelid. Like this. There you go. Just a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the hair. So what I like to do for the hair is basically just basically going into layout and selecting all the hair that I need. Wait, what happened? No, okay, it's not symmetrical, which is kind of bad, but we can still work with this. So I'm going into orthographic side view, which is numpad 3, using my circle tool and selecting everything that could be part of the hair. Wait, before I do that though, Alt Z to go into X-ray mode. I think it's this, yeah. So I can select all the vertices. Sometimes if they're too close together, they've kind of stick together, which is not what I want to. So I try to, or I use X-ray mode. There you go. Of course, I also select stuff like the horns, but that's okay, because I can now remove them. Oh, what happened? It's easier to remove stuff than that, or it's faster to remove this stuff rather than kind of going through the entire sculpt and selecting, or it's, in my opinion, it's easier to remove from a selection than to add. That's why I do it this way. There you go. Perfect. Let's do the other horn and then also the ears, and then we have everything deselected that we don't need. Eye. What does eye mean? Was that just a deliberate way to distract me for a quarter of a second? Unbelievable. The maliciousness gets stronger and stronger with every minute. I'm considering more and more just to wield the banhammer for the first time. Or yeah. Perfect. Okay. The ears need to go as well. X-ray mode. There you go. Looks pretty good to me. Almost perfect. Still 20 dynamic topology. Well, you started later, right? So no pressure. Did you set your own timer for 2 hours, or do you just do it by, you know, without a timer? So the problem will probably be symmetry. Although I don't know if I use symmetry on this. Although I can probably use it. It's a quite asymmetrical hairstyle. So we could probably use symmetry. I'm not quite sure though. There might be some asymmetries. But it's definitely better to start with symmetry than with full asymmetry right from the beginning. The biggest problem I see right now with symmetry for the sculpt is that the geometry isn't the same. but I think sculpting geometry works with the the global coordinates rather than the local coordinates or the vector placement. So now I duplicate these vertices and separate them by selection. So I have a separate geometry for the hair. There you go. Let's call it hair. Perfect. Save it. Just gonna finish it with you. I can't get the same result. Can't get the same result as you in this time, so I just treat it as a long quick sketch. Yeah. Do whatever you think is best. Okay, so now that we have the, I guess, two-dimensional plane with no thickness, I like to add a solidify modifier and set the thickness. Wait. Bring the thickness in like this. You can see some weird stretching or some weird artifacts there, which isn't too bad though. We can smooth those out. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's apply it. Now we haven't added any volume on the outside. We've just pushed it into the inside. So we can now go into the sculpt again and sculpt some hair. Perfect. Okay, let's begin. First, we need some volume. Yeah, we can see the hair is not symmetrical, but that's okay. We're going to begin symmetrical by just adding some volume overall. Whoop. Wait. Okay. $50 would probably not be a good resolution to start, but should I go to 20? Yeah, let's go to 20 and begin with 20. 20 was probably better to begin with just because it's easier to add more volume. There you go. What I want to do here though is I want to separate these two by color. So I'm going to go to color in the viewport shading settings and set it to random. This way, I just realized I'm sculpting on the model, which is pretty bad. Hopefully I can go back far enough to undo my mistake. Hopefully that's the case. We'll see. We have a little bit more to go, but I think I'm quite confident that it will work. Come on. Ah, perfect. That's why I want to separate it by color, because now I know which one's which. And I need to use the yellow one rather than the green one. I don't want to use 50, I want to use 20, perfect. Kind of blocking it out first before we go into more detail. Okay, now we have a general, I guess, bunch of hair. Let's create the hairstyle. First of all, the front is quite asymmetrical, as you can see right there. So I'm not going to worry about the front just yet. What I want to do first is the back. The back seems to be quite symmetrical. What we definitely need is more volume. So how about we pull out some more? There you go. This coat goes quite far back, so I'm just going to pull it all the way down here. Perfect. It also goes down onto the shoulders. There you go. Wider as well. Perfect. creating these nice kind of waves that you can see down there. Quick status update. I'm still not feeling tired. My fingers are not strained. I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling like I'm gonna die soon. My fingers are gonna fall off. It actually feels quite the same as it did in the beginning. Maybe it's more, I need more time to really feel it. Or maybe that was just a myth. That's a good beginning, I like it. We're gonna cut off the end right there, so we don't need to do that much more in the back here. But we can focus on more in the last 60 minutes on the rest. First, kind of finishing everything that is part of the symmetrical part, and then we can add some more on the, or we can add some asymmetry. Your fingers hurt? Okay, maybe I just have strong fingers. Maybe that's it. My fingers are trained. Okay. So the back looks pretty good. Let's focus on the front now. Can we see a... Oh, we can. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So it seems like some hair is going back like this. Perfect. I mean, believe me, I've been playing some click-heavy games as well, so, you know, it's not like I've been saving my fingers from from any damage. Okay, let's focus on asymmetry in the front. Let's remove this and let's focus on the big one. Big one is basically this sort of hair going up here and in front of the face. So we not only need... We need to pull this down a little bit here and pull it in front of the face. The geometry wasn't really in front of her face before, so we have to kind of manually pull it there. That's pretty good, I like it. Okay. Doesn't really seem like Final Fantasy is really a click-heavy game. It's more a ability spammy game. I feel like I'm pressing more ability buttons than I press like my mouse, just because I move with my WASD key and my I use my abilities. I just kind of lock onto a character or onto an enemy with my mouse, and then I just do, like, I attack. Maybe I'm doing it wrong though. Maybe it's actually important to click on multiple characters. I don't know. There you go, smooth it. Perfect. I would say FPS count. I mean, depends on what kind of FPS you play, but well, I would say FPS count. With what I wanted to say is it depends on what kind of guns you use, I guess, in FPS games. Like having a one-shot or like a what do you call it? Like a pistol, a semi-automatic where you have to click every time you want to shoot. That probably requires more or strains your fingers more than just like an automatic weapon. But I think it still both requires a lot of clicking. Oh yeah, I mean healer is probably different different story when it comes to MMORPGs. I just play a damage dealer, so it's not really too, you know, I don't need to switch targets that much. Okay, we're getting there. We have 10 minutes left, so let's use those 10 minutes effectively on the last few steps here. One thing that I want to do here is the other side, and then just a few more adjustments on the overall, I guess, maybe even adding 50 resolution to the hair, just to kind of add a little bit more spice to it. You know, a little bit more spice could help. We'll see though. Maybe 20 is enough. '20 is quite effective in just adding a general, adding a general structure to the hair. So maybe we don't need more. There you go. Okay, let's go to the other side. Oh, I see that the hairstyle in itself is quite similar. Only the all the way up there, the middle, is a little bit different. Everything else seems to be quite similar, but you know, I'm not gonna go back now and try to bring back symmetry. I'm just gonna work with what I have here. Okay. Perfect. Do a few more adjustments here, kind of give it more structure. And then we can get into maybe 50, maybe we don't need to. And it also depends on if we have more time. There you go. I like that. This looks kind of weird. Hold on. There you go. Okay, perfect. The crease brush is a very good way to just add, you know, these sort of structural lines to your sculpt. As you can see, they just add a little bit more clearness to the sculpt. As you can see here, we have these nice clear lines. They also stylize the hair a little bit, which I don't mind for this one. This one is quite stylized, so I don't try to make it super detailed and realistic. And I think by just, you know, adding these structural sort of stylized edges, it's just easier to kind of sell this as hair. Okay. We have 6 minutes left. I like the hair so far. I think I want to keep the hair in this amount of detail. I don't think I'm going to add more resolution. So maybe we could use the last few minutes to add some... There you go. We could use the last few minutes to add some clothing. Very simple clothing, but still clothing. So let's do it. Same as we did before. Hold on, can I smooth this? What does that look like? No, I like it flat. There you go. Okay. Oh, now I kind of feel it. 5 minutes, okay. I'm gonna go in here and call this head first. Head duplicated. Call it. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. I want to go into the head and select a few vertices here. This one will be easy to select. There you go. Perfect. Duplicate. And separate. And now we have a clothing geometry. Clothing. Solidify modifier. Oh. Wait, where is it? Hold on. There it is. Apply. Perfect. Okay. Back to sculpting. Nice. We see the difference in color. Okay. So how I like to add clothing now is basically just by using the mask. We might need more geometry, maybe not. We probably only need 50 for this. We actually just have like, what is it? Like 4 minutes, so we can't really be super specific here. So I'm just gonna go in here and kind of add a general model or a general mask. And then what I want to do is use the inflate brush. I've done that for a few quick sculpts to create very simple clothing. And I think it can work here as well. There you go, just kind of create a color there. Select everything else so we can inflate it so that the clothing has some thickness to it. Right now it's just perfectly inside of the, the skin. So let's change that. We've selected the basic shape of the clothing. So now we can go ahead and use the inflate brush. It is this one. We can say inflate, perfect, invert, and inflate. And there you go, we have some nice clothing. What we can do now is we can basically do the same again. We can invert it, we can use the mask. We can remove some of this. Maybe, let's see. How about over here? Wait. We need to remove this. There you go. 2 minutes. Getting intense here. The last 2 minutes we need to utilize. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We could give it some more detail. Let's see. No, I'm gonna leave it there. Invert. Wait, okay, perfect. And inflate again. Perfect. Oh, eyebrows. Oh no. Hold on. Okay, the clothing will stay like this. Let's add some eyebrows real quick. 1 minute 24, that'll be enough. Thank you for the notice. I like to do eyebrows just by masking them before I actually do them. Wait, why is it so rough? Well, you know what? Wait, no. Okay. There you go, masking it out like this. "29 seconds, invert it, use the sculpt brush, just add some more volume here. There you go. We can also now go to 100 resolution, just to kind of give it some more structure here. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there you go. Where's the hair? There you go. And there it is, the final model. Let's save it. Okay. Well, hold on. I'm just gonna remove this. Wait. Oh no. Just gonna remove this weird intersection here. This will lead to some weird results. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We have finished the mouse sculpt. Let's recap the experience. So, hold on, I'm just gonna do a few adjustments here. Perfect. Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So first, I guess, experience sculpting with a mouse. I've never done it before. So let's talk about how it felt. So in the beginning, I would say like the first 20 to 30 minutes, it just felt kind of uncomfortable. You know, you're always used to using a pen, and then kind of getting used to this more clinic approach of sculpting. What I mean with that is basically with a pen you can be quite free and just kind of, you know, swirl around, kind of brush, or your hand can be more free in your movement. With your mouse you have to control your mouth. Why do I always say mouth? Your mouse with every movement that you do, which makes it harder to just kind of do it like freehand like you would do with a pen. That was one thing that I kind of felt was a little bit harder. You couldn't really be as free as it would be with a with a pen. Once you kind of got over that and you kind of got used to the way you would sculpt with a mouse, you kind of got used to it. One thing that I found, or that I think was helpful, which will help when you're trying to sculpt with a mouse, is definitely using a lower strength on your basically brushes. So you would go in here and use a brush strength of more. Oh, hello. Okay, you would use a brush strength For example, for the clay strips brush, like 0.3, you can see the adjustments aren't as big. But then what you can do is you can enable the accumulate setting in the advanced brush settings, which lets you basically do this. So this is the without accumulate, you would do this, and then the more you do. At some point it just caps out in its thickness or its amount of value that it can add. If you enable accumulate and you do it again, you can see that it adds more and more volume. It doesn't stop, it accumulates basically. That is very helpful for a mouse, because with a mouse you can't really do the super easy and super fast brush strokes. You have to be a little bit more planned and more, I guess, yeah, precise with your movement. And by using a lower strength, you can not only control the amount of volume that you add easier, you can also, by using the accumulate setting, kind of mitigate the effect of having to click all the time. You can also just hold your mouse button and just kind of add more by just brushing over the same spot over and over and over again. So you don't have to click. You just have to do it in one swoop, which is quite helpful. Overall, I think once you kind of get used to how to use a mouse, the workflow is the same. Of course, stuff like anatomy doesn't change. Stuff like how you sculpt a head doesn't really change. So there's not really something you would change, or this doesn't really get affected by what kind of device you use to sculpt. But what, at least for me, changed now that I've basically used the mouse for the first time is I had to think about what I need to do with the mouse differently than with a graphics tablet to get the same effect, which in the beginning at least kind of distracted me from thinking about what the character would look like or what the right anatomy for the character is. It kind of distracted me from that, or it kind of took away RAM in my brain to think about it, which made it sometimes a little bit harder to sculpt. But overall, I think, yeah, using a mouse is definitely a very viable option. I haven't sculpted, the tablet version yet. I wonder if I get further. I think I'll get further just because I know what I'll sculpt tomorrow. I'm not starting from scratch and kind of having to figure out how to translate this 2D image into 3D. I already know what it looks like, or what it will look like in the end. So that's something that I don't really have to think about anymore. So I'll probably be a little bit faster. But it'll still be good to compare the two, just to kind of see, just to kind of compare the two experiences. Okay. Yeah. I saved it. Perfect. I mean, we could shade this as well, but no, I think we're. I might do that later, maybe. I like the nose. The nose is really. I like the nose a lot. I don't know. The shape just looks a little bit different than how I did it, how I usually do it, and I like it. Yeah, another nose to keep in mind when I do these, just because it just looks a little bit different to the one that I usually sculpt. Okay. Yeah. Also, I'm quite happy with the kissing expression. I would probably kind of raise the eyebrows a little bit so it looks more happy. Right now it kind of looks more, I don't know, neutral. But yeah, I'm quite happy. Feels a bit like one of those wooden shoe tips. You mean when you... What do you mean? Hold on. There you go. Do we have shading in here? Oh, we do. Yeah. Yeah, the eyebrows make her look kind of angry. I would have liked to add, kind of change the eyebrows to something more, I don't know, like kind of relaxed or happy. Nose tip. Oh, yeah. Because it's so pointy. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We're gonna do the same tomorrow. We'll see how we're gonna do the same, but with a tablet tomorrow. Compare the two, and also compare the two experiences against each other. It was definitely very insightful to do it with a mouse, just because I heard, some people ask me before, well, do you need a tablet to sculpt? Do you not? I always thought, well, the tools don't really make, like, the tool isn't really the thing that makes your sculpt good. It's more your knowledge and your skill. But I wanted to know how much that actually applies to using a mouse or a graphics tablet. So, yeah. So far, I have the impression that it doesn't really make a big difference. One thing definitely is my fingers feel a little bit more strained than, than using a tablet one. That's definitely for sure the case. Maybe if I use like an ergonomic mouse, maybe that would be different. But I think it wouldn't really be super different, but because you still have to like click a lot. So yeah, finger straining is definitely stronger, or more there when you use a mouse. If I think about how I created the Tyler the Creator sculpt, I was like working on that like I think 8 hours for 3 days. I don't think I could have done that with a mouse, like fully with a mouse without using a tablet. So I think then I would have felt the strain way more. Okay, so one thing that I want to do here to finish off the sculpt is just to kind of use the cube and remove the back here. I think that'll be the finishing touch. There you go. Yeah, it might be a little bit harder, but it's also not that crazy hard. But it's definitely, yeah, it's a little bit weirder. There you go, perfect. Okay, we need 3 of those. Wait, before I do that, I'm gonna save. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could also, I guess, optimize the way you use the mouse. Maybe you could, wait, what? What happened? Oh, wait, wow. Let's try that again. You could, if you have these buttons on the side, your thumb buttons on your mouse, you could, apply different functions to them. One thing I could imagine would be using those to increase or decrease the strength of your brush. Maybe the size depends on what you use more or what you change more. And then maybe also, at least on my mouse, what I've seen is quite rare, is using the mouse. Wait, which one do I use here? Cube 2. Using the mouse. No, my mouse has basically 3 buttons on the middle mouse button. I can push the middle mouse button to the left or to the right, which is another function. So I could, for example, push it to the left or right to increase the strength, and I could then use the thumb buttons to increase the size, for example. Boolean doesn't seem to work, which is annoying. Why? Why would you do this to me? Oh, now it works. Okay. I'll take it. Probably not going to look 100% clean, but that's okay. Wait, I can actually use the same cube now, can I? Let's see. Let me get rid of this timer. I don't need it anymore. There you go. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. Perfect. We finished the sculpt. So we're probably going to do the same sculpt in the same file, just so we can compare them afterwards. I'm quite happy with this, how this turned out. And yeah, we learned a little bit, I think, you know, about how to use the mouse, and just kind of getting some experience with it. I also, you know, we also learned sort of how to sculpt a kind of kissing mouth. Like, at least a little bit, you know, we did it the first time, at least I did it the first time. So yeah, that was good as well. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. We're going to do the same tomorrow, you know, but with a tablet. We're going to see how much it'll differ. Yeah, I think the biggest difference will be the amount of detail. Maybe, you know, the face will change a little bit in its look, because, you know, we can't really replicate this one-to-one, but at least we can get close to what we have here. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you for joining. Maybe you've done, you know, one of these sculpts as well with a mouse. Maybe you've tried it yourself. Of course, you can post it in the Discord if you want to, as Hustler did. I'm gonna look at that off stream. So yeah, tomorrow, next stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting, listening, or just being here. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Maybe I'll see you next time. Take care.